कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining for today's discussion on nectar of devotion. So we are continuing from the last time where we left. So we were discussing from the chapter 5 of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion. Share my slide. This was the last topic we were discussing from chapter 5, nectar of devotion, purity of devotional service. The topic was there is no material disqualification for bhakti. And we saw in this Srila Rupa Goswami, he quoted from one of the, I think, Padma Puran. Yeah, Padma Puran, he quoted Kashi Khanda, that just like in the that country, even the outcast receiving Vaishnava initiation, wearing the marks of the conch and disc, shine like sacrificial priests. Okay. Similarly, yeah, previous verse he had quoted that.
दाखव मी करतो थांब आई मला दाखवते
Previous one, yeah, the scriptures say that any human being is qualified for bhakti, just as everyone is qualified to take a bath during the month of Magh. Okay, Vasishtha, while speaking to the king, has given that example concerning the devotion to the Lord. So this we have discussed last time, that everybody can practice bhakti without any material disqualification. But as we have discussed, there is spiritual qualification required, that I had pointed out in the previous slide. So what are the spiritual qualifications? First is that the person should have faith, and he should not be too detached, and he should not be too attached. Okay, this we have discussed. Spiritually, he should be qualified, and there is no material qualification as such. Even an outcast, here it's mentioned Antyaja, that person also can take up the Vaishnava initiation and practice devotional service. And then we read Srila Prabhupada's commentary to that, how he mentioned that it's not concentrated to the Goswami or the Nityananda Vamsa like that. Okay, everybody can be practicing devotional service, and he so showed that how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he fought for it, and then he actually made it sure that everybody in the society can practice devotional service. And then we started the next topic, which Prabhupada continues in 5th chapter. What are the duties expected of a qualified practitioner? Okay. So here we were discussing that who is a qualified practitioner who has accepted the path of devotional service, and he is a Vaidhi Sadhaka, or he is a Sadhana Bhakta.
ध्यान
Basically, he
करेंगे
has the qualifications of Sadhana Bhakti. But here there is a question raised that Bhakti, the person who is performing it, should be without desires. And it has also been shown that all humans, regardless of their social position, are qualified, no material disqualification, right? So then it means if everybody starts practicing bhakti, then will not there be so much of sinful activity? Correct. Because they have neglected their varnashrama duties, and if they have neglected, then that should lead to some sin. Correct. And if it is leading to sinful activity, then all people will be going to hell. Correct. So this was the question. And then if not, then should they do some kind of atonement? Okay, this we had left at that time. Okay, yesterday. And today we will continue from him here, that what does Rupa Goswami say about this? Okay. So before we start discussing, any questions on what we have discussed till yesterday? Okay, then we will continue from the next. That what is the solution if the person is practicing devotional service and at the same time he is told that he need not do varnashram activities, then what should he do? Should he do some kind of atonement if he commits some sinful activity? So here Rupa Goswami is mentioning that what are the expectations from a person who is qualified for devotional service. Okay, what are the duties expected of a person who is qualified of a devotional service, and if he sometimes commits sinful activity, what should he do? Should he do some kind of atonement? Okay, so let's see what he is saying. Anushtathan to dosho bhakti anganam prajayate na karanam na karmanam akaranad yesha bhakti adhikarinam निषिद्धाचार तो दैवात् प्रायश्चित्तं तु न उचितम् इति वैष्णवशास्त्राणां रहस्यं तद्विदं मतम्. Okay. What is he saying here? We read the translation. Okay. Esha Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. The
Hmm.
person qualified for bhakti is at fault for failing to perform all the important angas of bhakti, but he is not at fault for failing to perform the duties of varna and ashram. If he, by chance, happens to commit some sin, there is no atonement prescribed for him. This is the opinion of those who know the secret of Vaishnava scriptures.
Thank you, Mataji. So, two verses here he is saying. So, first verse he is saying that the person qualified for bhakti means he is a sadhaka, at least he is doing sadhana bhakti. He will be at fault. Okay, not sin. Okay, this is not sin, this is fault, dosha. Okay, it's not papa, it's dosha, for failing to perform all the important angas of bhakti. What are the important angas of bhakti? We will see in the next topic. The first 20 angas of the 64, out of 64 the first 20 are called the important angas of bhakti. Okay, that he is saying are not to be discarded, that should be done. Okay, but he is not at fault for failing to perform the duties of Varna and Ashram. Okay, if he is not able to perform, he is performing devotional service. What is devotional service? That 9 limbs of bhakti which we have discussed: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Okay, these 9 things he is doing. But because he is doing these 9 things, he is not able to do some of the duties of his Varna and Ashrama. Then he is not at fault. Okay, there is no fault in that. But if he does not do the first 20 angas, important angas, then he is at fault. Okay, there is no question of sin at all. Okay, first he's talking about the fault. And second is what to do about sin. If he by chance happens to commit some sin. Okay, what is sin? What is definition of sin? Sin is that activity which is described to be against the Vedas or the Dharma Shastras. Okay, so they are called sin, sinful activity. Nishiddha achara, Nishiddha achar. Okay, there is no atonement prescribed for him. Who is that person? Him, the qualified person for bhakti. Okay, this is this person. Okay, for him there is no prayaschitta. Prayaschitta tu na uchitam. Okay, it's not uchit to do prayaschitta for him. If he happens to commit some sin, not that he will willingly and planningly he did. If he happens to commit some sin by daivat, by chance. Okay, inadvertent mistake, that is. Okay, he did not have any intention of doing it. Okay, inadvertent mistake it is called. There is no atonement prescribed for him. This is the opinion of those who know the secret of Vaishnava scriptures. Okay, this is only for applicable for what? The Vaishnava scriptures. And for whom it is? It is for the Vaishnavas. Which kind of Vaishnavas? The practitioners of Shuddha Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti. For them, this is applicable, what Rupa Goswami is saying. Okay. Now, okay. Yes, Mataji, please read.
It is a fault if those qualified for bhakti fail to perform the required angas of bhakti, such as observance of Ekadashi or Janmashtami. It is not a fault if they do not perform varnashram activities.
Yeah. So he is saying now, explaining the first part, the fault part. Okay, what is fault and what is not fault? It is a fault if those qualified for bhakti fail to perform the required angas. What are the required angas? We discussed the first 20 angas. Okay, the first 20 angas, which are called the door to bhakti. Okay, they are one which are in the focus here. Okay, that these are the 20 required angas which must be done for the person to not be at fault. Okay, what are those? They will be listed later, but some of them mentioned here, like observance of Ekadashi, acceptance of Guru, all those things. Okay, and it is not a fault if they do not perform varnashrama activities. Okay, what are the varnashrama activities? Like Sandhya Vandanam, some kind of uh, yajnas or pitri karmas, all those things which are there under the karma kanda literatures. Yeah, please continue. Yes, Isha Mataji, please read.
If they commit forbidden acts because of influence of previous Vaishnav aparat, atonement is not required, since these pure devotees do not have a natural tendency for sinful actions. Bhakti alone acts as atonement. This is the conclusion of Vaishnav scriptures.
Yeah, so now Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami is saying if they commit forbidden acts because of influence of previous Vaishnava aparad, okay, some previous either conditioning is there of past life or some Vaishnava aparad he has done in the past. Okay, so that's what was the word mentioned earlier, right? Daivat. Okay, due to some past misgivings, he is forced to commit this. He is not willingly, intentionally doing, but it is inadvertent, unknowingly, unintentionally happening. Okay, for them, what is so atonement is not required. Prayashchittam tu ta na uchitam. Prayashchittam tu na uchitam. For them, atonement is not required. It's not necessary. Why is it not necessary? Since these pure devotees do not have a natural tendency for sinful actions. Okay, why did Jiva Goswami write here this pure devotees? Pure devotees means those whose faith is pure. Okay, their swabhava is not yet pure, means they have some anarthas still, but they have pure shraddha. Okay, they have uttama bhakti shraddha. Okay, uttama bhakti faith they have. They may have weak faith, but that weak faith is pure. Okay, just like we have a magnet. Magnet can attract nails and big iron objects. But if there is small wood, will the magnet attract the small wood? No, it won't attract. How much ever small that wood may be, the magnet can never attract. So weak faith is like that. How much it's like small wood. Okay, it is like a small wood which can never be attracted by the magnet. So weak faith is not made up of iron. It cannot be attracted by the magnet, but it may be small in quantity, but it is pure. Okay, what is that purity? Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. That he has faith, but it is weak. Okay, sometimes it can be disturbed. That is the point. Okay, so that's why this person is said to be pure devotee in the sense that he is practicing pure devotional service. Okay, not that he is pure of all anarthas. No. Okay, so they do not have a natural tendency for sinful actions, right? What is their natural tendency? Anukulyena, they want to favorably serve Lord. That is their natural tendency. Anya abhilashita shunyam, that is their natural tendency to not have ulterior motives like bhukti and mukti. That is their natural tendency. Natural tendency not to commit sin. Okay. For these kind of people, it is said that atonement is not required. Not for all the people in the world, not for all practitioners of bhakti. If there are mixed devotees, no, they have to do some atonements. But for devotees who are practicing pure devotional service, for them atonement is not required. Bhakti alone acts as atonement. Okay, bhakti itself will act as atonement. What is that bhakti? That bhakti is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Okay, basically all those. Or here we can see the 64 limbs, or at least the 20 limbs, or if not 20 limbs, at least the five important limbs. Okay. What are the five most important limbs? Like hearing Bhagavatam, visiting the holy places, doing Nam Sankirtan. Okay, all these five limbs which are there will be coming in the last five part of this 64 limbs. If that at least is done, no atonement is required. This is a conclusion of the Vaishnava scriptures. This is what Jiva Goswami is saying. This is the conclusion of the Vaishnava scriptures. Okay, so yes, Isha Mataji, please continue.
There is no fault if a person does not perform all 64 angas of bhakti. The essential angas are the first 20 and the last 5 are chanting, hearing Bhagavatam, association with devotees, living in a holy place, and deity worship.
Yeah, so the person, there is no fault. Okay, again coming back to the point of the fault. Okay, there is no fault if a person does not perform all 64. It's not that every person will be inquired. Did you do today all 64? Not like that. He should be doing the at least the 25. First 20 which are the door to bhakti. Okay, means it is entrance to the bhakti, and the last 5 which are the okay Nam Sankirtan, Bhagavad Shravan. Okay, Sadhu Sangha, Shri Mathuravas, Shri Murtira, Shraddhaya Sevana. These 5 should be done at least. Hmm. Okay, now summarizing the whole concept. Yes, please read.
He is at fault for failing to perform the essential angas of bhakti. He is not at fault for failing to perform the duties of Varna and Ashram. If he commits a forbidden activity, he need not perform the karma, kandya, prayashit. For such a person, bhakti alone acts as a atonement.
Yeah, so these 4 things are concluded by Jiva Goswami. What are the 4 conclusions? First is about the faults. Okay, he is at fault. When the fault will be considered for failing to perform the essential angas of bhakti, which are they? The first 20 and last 5. These he should be doing. Okay, 25 of them, 25 angas. And then what is another point? He is not at fault for failing to perform the duties of Varna and Ashrama. Okay. If he is not able to do the duties of his Varna and Ashrama sometime, then he is not at fault. That was about fault. And what about the sin? If he commits a forbidden activity, not that he willingly does, but inadvertent, means unintentionally has done it. Okay, because of some past aparad or past conditioning. Okay, he need not perform the karma kandya prayashchit, like it was told to Subudhi that oh, the Muslim has thrown some water, sprinkled some water on you. You drink very hot 1 kg or 4 kg, whatever, that much ghee. So Brahmanas prescribed him. Why? Because so that he will give up this body and again take birth as a Brahmana in the next body. But when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, no, not required. You just chant the holy names. Because his faith was in pure devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu identified it. And then he told, no, you just do bhakti. All the atonements are included in that. Okay. And then fourth point, he said, now for such a person, bhakti alone acts as his atonement. Okay. So these are the summary of this. Okay. So before we take questions, we'll read what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Okay. Yes. Yes, Mataji, would you like to read? Continue.
Yes, yes. But Srila Prabhupada wants, Srila Rupa Goswami wants, however, if a person is properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that
Sure.
simply by acceptance of such initiation, his business is then finished. One still has to follow the rules and regulations very carefully. If after accepting the spiritual master and being initiated, one does not follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, then he is again fallen.
Yeah, then he again fallen. So what Srila Prabhupada is warning here, okay, that you are initiated in the Vaishnava Sampradaya now, good, but you should not take it two things. He is saying cheaply that okay, now my business is done. My now initiation is the beginning. Many times Prabhupada would say, initiation is the beginning. Okay, we should not consider that our business is finished. Okay, no, it is beginning. Okay, that is first point he's saying. Second is one has to still follow the rules and regulations very carefully. Okay, so one should not commit the break the four regulative principles. That is one thing. And then one should not think that oh, some days I can chant 16 rounds, some days I can chant 8 rounds and then make up next day, or some this week was very busy so I can chant this week's remaining rounds in the next week. Okay, so these are not good habits. Okay, and if there is some emergency, one can always take guidance from the superiors, and under their guidance, one can do something. Okay, so this is what Prabhupada is saying, that one should not take it carelessly. Okay, that anyhow my initiation is done now, it's finished. Okay, or my name has gone to the initiation list. Now nobody will ask whether I have been following these principles and chanting 16 rounds. Not like that. Okay, so that's what Prabhupada is warning. And another thing is what I can say, that one should not willingly commit against sinful activities. Okay. And try to become a hypocrite or try to cheat a spiritual master or those who have put faith in us like that. Okay. So these are the various points which Prabhupada is saying. Yeah. Please continue.
One must be very vigilant to remember that he is the part and parcel of transcendental body of Krishna, and that is his duty as part and parcel to give service to the whole or Krishna. If we do not render service to Krishna, then again we will fall down. In other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to the position of a high class Brahmana. One also has to discharge the duties and follow the regulative principles very rigidly.
Yeah. So again, Prabhupada is continuing with that point that one should not be careless. One should be very vigilant, very careful to remember that he is part and parcel of the Lord and he has to render service to the Lord. Okay. That's why at the end of our name, there is always the part where it is said Das or Dasi. Okay. Where we are reminded that, yeah, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and we have to serve that Lord. Okay. Render service to Krishna. If we don't, then we again will fall down. Fall down means what? The general definition of fall down would mean that going out of devotional service. Okay. One has given up devotional service and completely left that process. That is called fall down. Okay. In other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to the position of high class Brahmana. Because what does Bhagavad Gita, what did Lord Krishna say? Guna karma vibhagasaha. So that's what Prabhupada is also saying. One should perform that duties as per his guna and the karma. Okay. If he has been initiated, second initiation, first initiation, whatever. Okay. Or guna and karma should be there. Basically, varna and ashrama. If one is grihastha or brahmachari, those particular rules and regulations one has to follow. Okay. One should not try to steal the things from other ashram. Okay. So there are some things which are allowed in grihastha ashram. Brahmachari should not be imitating those. There are some things which are supposed to be followed in brahmachari ashram, which should not be imitated by grihasthas, and similarly all the other ashrams like that. Okay, so one ashram should not try to steal the pleasures or pains of other ashram. Okay, it's very important. Yeah, please continue, Mataji.
Sri Rupa Goswami also says that if one is regularly discharging devotional service, there will be no question of a fall down. But even if circumstantially there is some fall down, the Vaishnava need have nothing to do with the prayashchita, the ritualistic ceremony for purification. If someone falls down from the principle of devotional service, he need not to take to the prayashchita performance for reformation.
Yeah, so again, Prabhupada is concluding with the same point that because he is practicing, trying to practice devotional service, discharging devotional service, there is no question of fall down and there is no question of prayashchitta also. Okay, so sometimes we have seen astrologers say that you should wear such kind of ring with certain water stone, or there are so many prescriptions given that you should do Rahu Yagya or you should do that puja or whatever, or Mahakumbh Snan you should do so that you will be purified of all the sins. No, for devotee, Krishna has told very simple formula. Sarva dharman parityaja, mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami masucha. A devotee has faith in that promise of Lord Shri Krishna. And he understands that all the previous sins and whatever he has done will be nullified by that very promise of Lord Krishna. And here also we read that bhakti, the very first effect of bhakti is what? Kleshagni. What is Kleshagni? Destruction of three things. Papa, Papa Bijam, and Avidya. All three. Ignorance will be destroyed. The tendency to do sin will be destroyed. And all the sinful reactions will be destroyed. We discussed that earlier, right? So Bhakti already has that promise. Okay. Yes, Mati, please continue.
He simply has to execute the rules and regulations for discharging devotional service, and this is sufficient for his reinstatement. This is the mystery of Vaishnava devotional cult.
Yeah. So reinstatement means suppose sometimes he does some sinful activity by conditioning or by previous Vaishnava aparadh, then what he has to do? No atonement, but just continue the devotional service. There is no extra endeavor required. Okay, just do the morning program, chanting 16 rounds, following the four equity principles. Just continue doing. That itself is the biggest atonement. Okay, that is what Prabhupada is saying. This is the mystery of Vaishnava or devotional cult. So if we speak these to outside people, they will not be able to understand that how is it possible. You are saying that just you will continue doing chanting and all this, but here the astrology chart is saying that you do this yagya and do this, then only you'll remove all those things. They cannot put so much faith in this process. Why? Because they don't have faith in the Uttama Bhakti, right? They don't have faith in Lord Krishna's word that Sarva Dharman Parityaja, all this they will not be able to accept. Okay, that's why. Okay, Prem Latika Mataji. Yeah. Any question? Any comment?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are discussing about how one when commits some Vaishnava aparadh in the past. So, in our ignorance, in our early days, or sometimes in due practice also, we commit offenses, and
Hmm.
we realize we beg forgiveness also, but
Yeah.
traces of that offenses, um, somewhere they diminish the faith in that person or the process or the entire system. At that
Hmm.
time, although we are continuing with our morning program and all that, still there is some tint of that question mark in the mind. So my question is how to overcome that, because if we will carry forward that grudges, that wrong things happened in the past, that maybe because of we have reacted due to our false ego and all that, how to overcome from that, and how to bring that innocency in us, that in which was in the beginning days, early days of Krishna consciousness. That is my question.
Yeah. Thank you, Mati, for the question. Yeah. To again become that innocent as we were in early days of Krishna consciousness, everybody is struggling, and yeah, I don't have any direct answer to that how to do it, but because I am also not able to do. Yeah, that is how this one we can say the nature of material world is that it somehow brings in that either we can say laxity, laziness, or that taking it for granted kind of attitude, na? That comes always. So we have to struggle with that. That is always there. So yeah, so we have to actually, yeah, basically what I've heard solution for this is that we can take association of devotees who keep us inspiring to remain innocent, and we like their character as simple. There are so many brahmacharis or grihasthas also, and those are very simple. And there are always children who are actually really very simple. So we can just associate with them also, and it is very nice to see that how they can be very simple. So yeah, so in that way we can be again reminded that we have to remain simple and become always remain always enthusiastic. Utsaha nishya dhairya, yeah, utsaha should be there always. So we can associate with those devotees who give us that inspiration. That will be one thing, I think. And other thing, as you were saying that, yeah, so there will be past aparadhas will be there, so how they will go away, and because yeah, that remains in our mind or in our chitta sometimes, and it will be there sometimes. So that is two types of apradhas are explained actually, as we discussed last time also. One is namaprad, other one is seva aparad. Generally, it is defined in Madhur Kadamini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written namaprada, those kind of apradhas which are done knowingly. Okay, and that has very, very grave effect actually. Knowingly trying to hurt a Vaishnava, knowingly trying to blaspheme a Vaishnava, all these 10 offenses which we recite every day, generally they are done knowingly. Okay, if you see that offending, disrespecting a guru or disobeying the guru, these are not inadvertent. They are always done knowingly. If you see, or finding faults with other devotees, or criticizing the demigods, none of them I think can be done unknowingly. If you see the list, 10 offenses. So, and there are other also where if they are done knowingly, like sometimes we enter the altar and we forgot to do achman, and then we start thinking that, oh, anyhow it happened, so next time also if it happens, it's okay, chalta hai. If that attitude starts coming, then it becomes nam aparad, even though it is a seva. So Vishnu Chadakar has defined it like that, that anything which is done knowingly, even though it may be called as a service, a seva, it should be counted as a nam aparad, and it will have very grave effect then. And at the same time, he has told that there may be something which might be looking externally very grave, like some disciple did not offer obeisances to guru. So if has done it unknowingly, or something like that, like Rup Goswami, he was into the Leela and he was smiling, and there was another Vaishnava, lame Vaishnava, who got actually offended. So even though it's a Vaishnava aparad, but it was not taken very seriously because he did it unknowingly. So similarly, if we also do it unknowingly, it will not be taken very seriously. And for them, the solution Vishwanath Chakravarti has given is that one should try to beg forgiveness from that Vaishnava. Okay, and generally Vaishnavas are very compassionate. They will forgive. Generally, they wouldn't. They have not taken offense only, and even if they have taken, we can ask forgiveness. They will forgive. And if they are not forgiving, in some cases, the offense is very grave. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti has told that one should take to constant chanting of Harinam, and then by in the given due course of time, it will be removed. Okay, so I
And one more thing, Prabhuji.
yeah.
Today at the prize distribution ceremony, I
Mm,
was sitting by the side of a very senior devotee of our congregation.
okay.
And what disturbed me most was she criticized she is very senior, very respected in the entire congregation. And she
Mm,
criticized this process of book distribution and said 4.5 lakhs books are distributed, are that much devotee are being created, why they are distributing so much book, and where are the devotees if so many of books are, they are just giving the books and no one reads them. And I got very disturbed. I was about to get up from that place, but I can't do because I am bind to that person, and it disturbed me a lot. I mean, I am
okay.
disturbed, totally disturbed. It's
Yeah.
Prabhupada's dream, it's Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's dream that we have to distribute books. It's Prabhupada's greatest dream. Prabhupada says,
Yeah.
if you want to please me, you have to distribute books. I'm
Yeah.
greatly disturbed after hearing that statement.
Mm,
I mean, how
yeah.
could one, after spending so much life in Krishna consciousness, can talk about book distribution like that? It has decreased my faith in that person.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah, many times, not many times, sometimes. Sometimes it can happen, Mataji, like that. Yeah. So one thing is we have to be strong ourselves. We have to have faith in the teachings of Srila Prabhupada.
Hmm.
Okay, as a devotee, and then we should understand that yeah, that devotee might have been speaking like that due to some reason we don't know. He may be, or she may be also disturbed because of something we don't know, and tomorrow she may speak positively, you don't know. Okay, and you might not never have heard from her previously like that. Correct, so maybe like that. So it may be she can change also in time. We can pray for them, that is first thing. And if something is disturbing and if we seriously see that it is against the teachings of our founder acharya, then we can keep a respectful distance. These two words you can remember: not distance, not respect, only respectful distance. Okay, both together should be done. And if they are really disturbing us, and if they are trying to come near us, we can respectfully inform them also that I'm trying to keep respectful distance from you. We can tell them clearly. Why? Because this such and such incident happened and I felt not good, and I am feeling, we can clearly express to them I am feeling low in my bhakti because it was spoken in that way, and that's why I'm keeping a respectful distance from you. You can clearly openly tell, otherwise that devotee may take offense also, right? That why he is or she is doing like that.
No, I'm not going to say anything to her, but it greatly
Mm.
disturbed me because
Yeah.
she was worshipable for me, an idol for
Mm.
me. One should not say about if it is not the seva which you like. You don't
Mm.
like book distributor. That doesn't mean it is wrong or is.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's there, Mataji. Yeah. So good that you spoke. At least you may be feeling little
At
light
least
at your heart.
I was searching for a person to whom I can speak because it greatly disturbed me, no. And it should be the right person to whom with we can speak, no.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, you can speak to also some devotees who you have good faith in, some senior devotees or equals also, and express. Yeah, it will be there for some hours or some days, but yeah, as you can again
I
reinstate
will
as.
I will not speak with anyone. I just wanted to open it up and throw out that out of my mind. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry I'm disturbing the class, I feel.
No, 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 it's okay. Yeah, all of us need some space and some place where we can speak. No problem. Okay, okay. So then, okay, we will continue.
Prabhuji, I also have a
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Uh, Prabhuji, I have three questions actually. First was that I think 5 to 6 slides back, there was a statement where it was mentioned that if one commits abominable actions in the influence of previous Vaishnava aparadh. So my understanding till now was that we commit sins or offenses due to our conditioning and ignorance. So what does this mean? I mean, uh, I need little clarification on this point. That previous
This
Vaishnava
slide.
aparadh. Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
If they commit forbidden acts because of influence of previous Vaishnava aparadh, atonement is not required. Yeah. So what is the question, Mataji?
Question is why previous Vaishnava aparadh is mentioned? Because what my understanding till now was for that we perform forbidden acts due to our conditioning, material conditioning. So is it different? I mean, this term is very new for me here.
Vaishnava aparadh you must be hearing earlier also, but that it can it can trigger forbidden acts. That is new for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that we perform sinful activities or forbidden acts because of our conditioning, Prabhuji, previous conditioning for so many lifetimes.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
I was never aware of this fact that we do forbidden acts due to our previous aparads also. So can
Yeah,
you
that also can trigger. Vaishnava Aparad also can trigger. See, we have discussed sometime. I think in Bhagavad Gita only we have discussed that we know there are six Shadripu. Okay, lust, anger, envy, illusion, pride, greed. Okay, so these are the six. Now these six can be brought out in a person due to previous conditioning or due to Vaishnava Aparad also. Okay. Basically, there are four reasons for these four to come out. What are the four kind of anarthas any person has? So, okay, now I will have to share that. I had opened it. I will share it. Okay. Okay. Is it visible? The word file?
Yes, 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 Prabhuji.
Yeah. See, this is third chapter of Madhuri Kadamini where anartha nivritti is discussed. So, what is anartha? That is something which is undesirable. Okay. Anartha. Okay. And generally it is those which are uh, classified. Okay, here you can see the first line. Devotional activities, bhajan kriya produces anartha nivritti. Anartha nivritti means destruction of bad qualities. Okay, they are generally lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride. Okay, these are the six. Anarthas may be classified into four types. Okay, based on the origin. So they can arise from where these four are there, which you can see. First is previous sinful activity is one source. Okay, if previous sinful activity is there, then anarthas can arise from there. Second, those arising from previous pious activity. Okay, there can be some anarthas, undesirables for the bhakti, which may come from previous pious activity. Sukritotha. it is called. Okay. Like for example, a pious person doesn't like to eat others juta, others what you say,
Mhm.
uh,
Leftover meal,
leftover,
basically.
leftover, yeah. So now in bhakti we eat others who like our Guru
Mhm.
Maharaj or very senior disciples we can take, but the piety which is there in his conditioning will not allow him to access that anga of bhakti. So that creates a struggle for him. Okay, so that is also possible. That's why I explained. So first is sinful activity, we very much understand. Pious activity also can produce anarthas. Okay, like that, and it can sometimes create pride also, that I am very pious. Okay, those arising from offenses. This is third type which is mentioned in the slide. Okay, they can arise also from offenses against devotional service, that is discussed in this chapter of third char. Okay, that how these offenses like namaparad and sevaparad which I told, they can very
Mhm.
much trigger the lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride. And fourth is those arising from imperfectly performed bhakti. Like somebody may get name, fame, pride by doing the activities of bhakti nicely. Okay, like preaching nicely. He may get followers, likes, subscribes in YouTube, whatever. And that can lead to some pitfalls in bhakti. So there are four origins in which the anarthas can come. Okay, so one of them is mentioned in the slide, that is arising from offenses. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, but maybe only one term is mentioned there, but
Hmm.
it means that it can arise from all these four, right?
Yeah, yeah. It means that the tattva or the concept is that it can arise from any of the four. Okay, what he mentioned there is only one of them.
Okay, Prabhuji. And in the last term here itself, Prabhuji, those arising from the imperfectly performed bhakti.
In
So
the word file you're saying? Yeah,
yes,
here.
yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So if I separately try to understand imperfectly performed bhakti, so for me, when I have or anyone is not able to do the devotional services nicely or maybe by maintaining the standard of following all the regulative principles. But the example that you've given, I mean, that is not in the
Yeah.
line,
No,
I
yeah.
feel.
So that word is here. Okay, it will be explained later. Uh, Imperfectly perform bhakti. Now, what I explained will be told here. Mm,
Because that person is getting fame, name, and everything because he did bhakti nicely, right, Prabhuji?
yeah, correct. So that is called Bhaktiotta Anartha. The Anartha is arising from Bhakti. Okay, it's
Bhakti.
not that Anartha is arising from Bhakti or Bhakti is producing Anartha, not like that. That personality's attitude was not good. That's why Bhakti gave some success and he could not handle it. Okay,
All
that's
right,
what it's
Prabhuji.
produced lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, or pride. It turned out into one of the forms because he could not handle the gifts of Bhakti. Okay,
All
that is
right.
the meaning. Okay, that is explained later. Okay. Maybe you can ask next question, then I will try to search by that time.
Yes, Prabhuji. And the second was, Prabhuji, like in the next few slides when we read that at least performing first 20 angas of the bhakti.
Hmm.
And then you also mentioned ki at least perform at least five angas, which will be discussed in the last
Hmm.
five chapters of the section.
Correct.
So in totality, we need to maintain minimum 25
Yeah,
or
five is
five.
sufficient. Last five is sufficient. Okay. And if we will see first 20 are like non-negotiable, like accepting Guru. Now, that is
Okay.
non-negotiable one. Everybody has to accept Guru sometime or other. So we will see that that will be very much included in the path of bhakti, most of them. Okay. And to the best we are able to do, we can try to do. Otherwise, the last five are good enough. Okay, like that. Last five,
Okay.
which was said, that is Nam Sankirtan, Bhagat Shravan, and Sadhu Sangha, and Mathuravas, Sri Murtirera, Shraddhaya Sevan. These five are good enough. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. And the last was where we were discussing when you were telling to Prerna Mataji that if we do not do our seva, although it is a seva aparadh, but it is
Hmm.
also considered as nam
Nam.
aparadha.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that all the 10 offenses that we do, or not do, but the 10 nam aparadhs,
Nam approach.
they all are done knowingly.
Correct.
So Prabhuji, what are the unknowing, matlab not like you have given the example of Srila Rupa Goswami, but apart
Hmm.
from that, is there any other offenses that we do unknowingly? Because then everything that we do comes under knowingly only.
No, unknowingly we may do because of ignorance. Like somebody may come first time to the temple. He may enter the temple with shoes or whatever.
Mhm.
May not be trained in that. So unknowingly it happened. That aparad. Okay, like Lord's palanquin is going and he did not pay obeisances. He is not told or he is not trained to pay obeisances. That happened unknowingly. Okay, like that. These are unknowingly. But after one has been instructed, still he is not doing. That is becomes knowingly. Okay, we will discuss that 64 angas is going to come. There it will be told more in detail that how knowingly and unknowingly are separate. Separate. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I will search and send that. Okay. That Bhakti Yotta Anartha, Anartha arising by the Bhakti later. Okay. As of now, we'll continue.
Prabhuji, there is one thing which I'm not able to frame up nicely, but if you can understand and answer.
Hmm.
Uh, like 9.30 that we discussed, Api Chetso Duracharo, that was understood. I asked all my queries related to that topic in Bhagavad Gita session. But here also something is coming like whatever we are reading, that we do not need a devotee who's practiced a sadhana bhakta, basically he doesn't require any kind of separate atonement. Bhakti itself
Hmm.
will purify.
Correct.
So like my question that is coming is, we perform devotional services, but still I think at this stage, at least I am doing a lot of offenses. I mean, knowingly or unknowingly, whatever it is.
Hmm.
uh, then will it not, and I'm not doing anything, any separate act or anything to atone for it. So if
No.
it is not considered as an offense, but as per the lines that are mentioned here, that it is actually not, this doesn't become an impediment in the path of bhakti, then
Hmm.
Prabhuji, why sometimes it is said that we are committing offenses, that is why it is hindering our bhakti? Why do we say that
Hmm.
then?
Okay. See, what was said here is about sin. Okay, not about offense. I will again show that. Okay.
Okay, okay.
See here,
I,
what is told is, see the conclusion. He is at fault for failing to perform the essential angas of bhakti. He is not at fault for failing to perform varna and ashrama activities. Okay, varna ashrama duties. Now here is what you are asking. If he commits a forbidden activity which is sinful, okay, this is talking about sin. This is not talking about offense. Okay, offense one has to guard against, but he is saying that if somehow by chance or previous conditioning or Vaishnava aparadh, whatever, if he commits some sinful activity, he doesn't have to do any atonement apart from practicing bhakti. Offense is very much considered in bhakti, and offense is that which is generally done knowingly, nam aparadh, which is taken very grave and very seriously. That is considered, but not sin. Okay, there is a difference. Sin is on the material platform, offense is on the spiritual platform.
okay, Prabhuji. So, if if somebody is not following the four regulative principles, they are also not, after any session also they are not chanting the minimum prescribed rounds. So it mainly comes under third offense, like
Yeah, Guru Ravagya, yeah, disobeying the Guru.
disobeying your guru's instruction. So
Correct.
is it sin or is it offense? If it is
Offense.
offense, then
It is offense, third offense.
it is not sin.
No. It is not considered in the realm of sin because it is spiritual now. For him, chanting the holy name is spiritual activity and it is promised to the spiritual master. So it is under the offense. Okay, it is not under the sin.
Same applies for regulative principles also, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that is also Guru Ravagya, disobeying the spiritual master. Yeah,
Okay, because this confusion came because I connected it with the point where Prabhupada says that following four regulative principles is not a anga of bhakti. It basically makes us human. It brings us to the platform of
human being.
humans. Right? So I thought that maybe breaking the
That is
regulative
that is also true.
principles.
That is also true. That one becomes human being by following the regulative principle. And he said also that any gentleman will be following it. Okay. Otherwise, he is not human being. But when it is promised to spiritual master, then it is broken. Then it is not only sin, it is more than that, much more than that. It is called offense. Okay, which cannot be removed by any material prayashchitta. because all these karma kande prayaschitta are all on the material level. Okay, they can counter some of the sinful activity of the materialistic people. They cannot counter the offenses because after he has promised to spiritual master, it has become an offense. Now prayaschitta will not work for him.
Okay, Prabhuji. So if anybody commits this kind of offenses, then what will the atonement for them? Again, doing the bhakti, or specifically something is mentioned about it, like going to Guru and begging forgiveness or anything like that?
Yeah, same thing that I told earlier to Prerna Mataji. Here, okay,
Ma'am,
I'm showing that. Okay, see here. Uh, okay, where it is mentioned. Okay. Basically, it is mentioned that how one can overcome this serious namaparad. It is told that one should go and ask forgiveness from that superior person, and if he doesn't forgive, one should take to the constant chanting of the holy name. Okay, that is
okay,
what
Prabhuji.
mentioned. Mm, okay, I'll find it and
No
show it
problem.
later.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Right.
Okay. So, okay. So this topic we have completed. That how one should be careful about not committing sinful activity. So the question may arise, okay, how would a bhakti yogi heart be purified if he neglects the varnashma duties or he doesn't do the atonements? So very simple. We have discussed already Klesha Agni process that the avidya, bijam and papam, all these three are destroyed by bhakti. The very first effect of bhakti is this only. We have discussed already. Avidya, that is ignorance, material desire and sinful activity, all the suffering, everything is destroyed by bhakti. That is one point we have discussed. And this Bhagavad Gita we have already discussed that very quickly that person who may be sinful becomes righteous. Okay, very quickly becomes a righteous person and becomes completely devoid of contamination. O son of Kunti, you declare that my devotee never perishes. So I'm not going to go into the details of that commentary, but that's what was discussed already. Now, the last part of this chapter, fifth chapter, Prabhupada is explaining about this. What are the various proofs? We have told that, okay, there is no atonement required, but is it based on Shastra or is it just a proposal of Rupa Goswami? So, is it based on Shastra? So, now he'll give some proofs that, yeah, it's there in the Shastra. Swe swe adhikari ya nishtha sagunah parikirtitah viparayastu doshah syad ubhayor esa nischayah. Okay, somebody else can read. Okay, Prasanna Gopal Prabhuji, would you like to read?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Steadiness in one's own position is declared to be actual piety, whereas deviation from one's position is considered impiety. In this way, the two are definitely ascertained.
Yeah. So many times we may not understand what is piety, what is impiety. So here the definition is given for that. Sway sway adhikar. As per one's qualification, one's adhikar, he has faith into it. Okay, somebody has faith in bhakti yoga, somebody karma yoga, somebody in jnana yoga. That is their adhikar. That path they should follow. Okay, sa gunah parikirtita means that will be glorified. Viparayas, opposite to that, is will create dosha, faults. Okay. Ubhayor is nischaya. One should ascertain the things as the 2 points are mentioned above. Okay. So steadiness in one's own position is declared to be actual piety. Means if he is qualified for bhakti yoga, he should do the bhakti yoga process. Okay. He should not take up the process of karma kanda and do atonements. Whereas deviation from one's position, like a person who is doing bhakti yoga, if he considers the atonements of karma yoga, then he will be at fault. Or the karma yoga person takes up to the process of bhakti and says that no, I don't have to do any atonement now, that will be also at fault. Okay, that's what is said in this shloka. Okay, yes, please continue, Praji.
With the words Sve Sve Adhikari, different qualifications are signified for karma, jnana, and bhakti. For the person qualified for pure bhakti, performance of the actions of the karma or jnana and failure to perform bhakti are both false.
Yeah, so for the person qualified for pure bhakti, like Uttama Bhakti, performance actions of karma. Okay, the karma kanda or varnashma system, it prescribes some of the rules and regulations, okay, which should be done. And if the person is doing and neglecting the bhakti angas, then he will be at fault. Okay, or even if he does some activities of jnana, then all that also is fault. And failure to perform bhakti, the angas of bhakti, then that also becomes fault. Yeah, please read.
Practically, there are three processes for elevating one to the platform of spiritual consciousness.
Yeah, so this is
These
Prabhupada speaking. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada only. These processes are called karma, jnana, and bhakti. Ritualistic performances are in the field of karma. Speculative processes are in the field of jnana. One who has taken to bhakti, the devotional service to the Lord, need have nothing to do with karma or jnana. It has been already explained that pure devotional service is without any tinge of karma or jnana. Bhakti should have no tinge of philosophical speculation or ritualistic performances.
Yeah, so basically, Prabhupada is also saying the same point that if one has taken to the devotional service, okay, then for him, the atonements that may be mentioned through astrology or atonements which may be mentioned through any other karma kandya process, like we gave the example of Subudhi Rai was told to drink very hot ghee and then give up his body. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told not required, you just chant the holy name, that is the best atonement because he had the faith in bhakti. So based on the faith of the person, we can tell what atonement he should be doing. And Prabhupada is saying for bhakti yogi, he need not do the jnana atonements as well as the karmakanda atonements or karmakanda performances. Okay, so this is another proof from 11th canto. Swapadamulam bhajitah priyasya tyaktani bhavasya hari pareshah vikarma yachotpatitam kathanchid dunoti sarvam hridi sannivishtah. Yes, Prabhuji, please continue.
Yeah, one who has thus given up all other engagements and has taken full shelter at the lotus feet of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very dear to the Lord. Indeed, if such a surrendered soul accidentally commits some sinful activity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated within everyone's heart, immediately takes away the reaction to such sin.
Yeah, so now somebody may say, oh, Prabhuji, but we are not full surrendered. We have not taken full shelter. So many things this sloka is saying. Indeed, if such a surrendered soul. But this whole section where it is coming, please keep in mind, it's coming in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Okay. And what was the process of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? That was mentioned by Jiva Goswami that he has a struggle with his senses, that he is trying to avoid the sinful activities, trying to follow devotional principles, but many times or sometimes he fails. And for them, the Lord is saying that don't be morose, be happy and worship me. Okay, those kind of people are qualified for Vaidhi sadhana, and for them this is told because if somebody is already advanced, he will not be having this struggle at all. Okay, that vikarma he will never be falling into. Okay, so this is for sadhakas. Yeah, now next 11th canto 20th chapter, another proof. Tasman mad bhakti yuktasya yogino vai mad atmanah na jnanam na cha vairagyam praya shreyo bhavediha. Please read.
Therefore, for a devotee engaged in my loving service, with mind fixed on me, the cultivation of knowledge and the renunciation is generally not the means of achieving the highest perfection within this world.
Yeah, so for a devotee engaged in my loving service, mind fixed on me, okay, cultivation of knowledge means this jnana process is not needed. Okay, that is told here. No, that was about Gyan. This is about karma. 11th canto again, Uddhav Gita. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavat mat katha shravanado va shraddha yavan na jayate. Yes, Prabhuji.
One should continue to perform the Vedic ritualistic activities until one actually becomes detached from the material sense gratification and develops faith for hearing and chanting about me.
Yeah. So here two things are mentioned that tavat, until then one should perform karma. Till when? Two things. First, he should have got, first is until one has actually become detached. Nirvidyeta yavata. First. Second, he should have got faith. Mat katha in my narrations. Basically, Nam, Kan, Katha, all these things. Shravana, Ado, Shraddha. He has got faith. If these two things are there, he need not do karma. Okay, the karma atonement he need not do. Okay, first is what? He should have become detached from what? Material sense gratification. He should have understood that yes, I may be liking sense gratification, but I want to give it up. It is an anartha. It will go away in anartha nivritti. He should have developed that faith. Second, he should have also got positive faith that uh, the Lord's katha, naam, okay, naam and katha and rupa, lila, all these things he should have faith in. That okay, I want to uh, take the holy name of the Supreme Lord or whatever is the bhakti process described. I want to follow that. Okay, he has faith in those things. If these two things are there, then he need not do karma. Basically, same thing. Anyabhilashita shunyam, jnana karma dhyanaavritam, anukulena krishnanushilanam. These things are there. He need not do the rituals of karma. Okay, fifth chapter of first canto. त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरेः भजन् अपक्को अथ पतेत् ततो यदि यत्र क्वा भद्रम् अभूदमुष्य किं को वार्ताप्तो अभजतां स्वधर्मतः. Yes, Praji.
If a person having given up his duties in Varnashram begins the worship of Lord's lotus feet and happens to deviate or not reach perfection, there is no misfortune for him at all in the future. But what does the person who follows all duties of Varnashram but does not worship the Lord gain?
Yeah. So basically here two parts are there again in this shloka. So the first thing is bhajan. This person is having faith in bhakti. That's why he is doing bhajan. But what kind of faith it is? Apakwo. It may not be fully mature. Because of that, what happened? Patet. He might fall down sometime. Okay. So there may be abhadra in him. So what he should do? He need not do any atonement. Okay. So if he has taken shelter of me, Lord is saying, okay, if he has taken my shelter, then he need not do any atonement. Okay. Why? Because he has got faith in bhakti for that. Okay. So here first line is if a person having given up his duties in Varnashram begins the worship of the Lord, lotus feet, bhajan, okay, and happens to deviate or not reach perfection, there is no misfortune for him at all. Hmm. That's what is mentioned. Okay, so there are many proofs given. Okay, of this we will not be taking everything. Okay, yeah, Srila Prabhupada's comment we will read. Yes, Prabhuji.
The purport is that as soon as a man takes his birth, he is immediately indebted to so many sources. He is indebted to the great sages because he profits by reading their authoritative scriptures and books. There are many other sages like Shankaracharya, Gautam Muni, and Narad Muni, to whom we are indebted because we take advantage of their knowledge. Similarly, we are obliged to our forefathers because we take our birth in particular family where we take all advantages and inherit property. Therefore, we are indebted to the forefathers and have to offer them pinda prasad after they are dead. Similarly, to the people in general, we are also indebted, as well as to our relatives, friends, and other even animals such as cows and dogs who render us so much service. In this way, we are indebted to the demigods, to the forefathers, to the sages, to the animals, and to the society in general. It is our duty to repay them all by by proper discharge of service, but by one stroke of devotional service, if someone gives up all the obligations and simply surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is no longer a debtor, but nor obliged to any other source of benefit.
Yeah, so this is the conclusion what Prabhupada is saying. Okay, what is the conclusion? But by one stroke of devotional service. So there may be so many people. Basically, he is commenting on the shloka Deva Rishi Bhutaptrinam Pitrinam. So that shloka he is quoting. Okay, and he is saying that Deva Rishi Bhuta Aptaninam Pitrinam, all these we are debtor because they have given us birth, they have given us the land or property or so many things. We are rini. But if one has taken up to bhakti, then he need not fulfill the respective obligations, but he can just do bhakti that will fulfill all the obligations, just like watering the root of the tree waters all the branches, tree, and leaves, flowers, everything. One need not separately water them. Okay, that's what is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, and then final proof that all of us bhakti yogis we understand is Lord Krishna's promise himself, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishyami Masucha. So giving up all dharmas, surrender unto me alone. I will deliver you from all sins. Do not worry. So this is the highest of the statements which bhakti yogis can understand. That yes, Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas have told that yeah, that by practicing bhakti, one need not do any separate atonement because Lord Krishna himself will take care. Okay. Any questions on this topic till now? Okay. So now we can go to the next chapter, chapter 6. This is. Okay, I'm in two minds whether to show this topic or not. It is not there in Prabhupada's NOD. Okay, so should we discuss this topic or we can go ahead to the next chapter? Okay, so if devotees want, then I will discuss this. Otherwise, I will go to the next topic. So basically, the topic I will tell what it is. So we understood till now, it was told that Varnashma is not needed. Okay, that's what Rupa Goswami started with. Okay, the atonement process from Varna and Ashrama also are not needed. The person is not at fault for not performing the Varnashma duties, but he is at fault if he doesn't do the 25 angas of bhakti or at least 5 angas of bhakti. So then why did Prabhupada say that 50% of his mission is establishing Varnashma? Okay. If Rupa Goswami is saying that Varnashma one doesn't do, he is not at fault. And later also Rupa Goswami will tell at the end of the Angas, right? He will tell Varnashma is not an Anga of Bhakti. Then why did Srila Prabhupada make this statement at all? So how do we understand this? So there are a few things which we can discuss in the Prabhupada's conversation with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Okay, if devotees are interested, then we can discuss. Otherwise, I will go to the next chapter. So
Prabhu,
those, yeah,
I
who
think at
want
least
to.
you take us through quickly what it means. I mean, because otherwise we'll miss this part of learning. Other things we can always practice from books or something, but there's something which is more mm, to know.
No, okay. How many devotees want to discuss? You can raise hand. Okay, if there are good number of devotees, then we will take. Otherwise, we can go ahead. Okay, two, three. Okay, four devotees. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Almost everybody is saying. Okay, so I will just go through quickly. If you have any doubts, you can ask. So, uh, topic I have cleared. What is the topic? So now there are three understandings. See, one basic understanding, first of all, we have to understand is that Prabhupada, being founder Acharya of ISKCON, will not tell anything which is against the principles of our Gaudiya Sampradaya. That is, Srimad Bhagavatam established the principles. What did Srimad Bhagavatam establish? That for the Bhakti Yogis, the Varna and Ashrama rules and regulations are not required. That Srimad Bhagavatam told, so many proofs we gave. Now, second thing, our Sampradaya is called Rupanuga. We are followers of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami said that Varna and Ashrama following is not needed for devotees. Okay, they are not at fault if they do not follow the Varnashrama system. Varnashrama system, nahi, Varnashrama duties. Okay, I'll clarify what are the differences between that. Okay, Varnashrama system is different, Varnashrama duty is different. So Rupa Goswami said that if the devotees do not do the Varnashrama duty, they are not at fault. What they should be doing? They should be doing the spiritual duty. What is the spiritual duty? Performing the limbs of bhakti. Okay. So this is what two principles we have understood. What are two? One is based on Bhagavatam, other one is based on teachings of Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami. Prabhupada being the founder Acharya, he will not be saying anything to establish against the desires of Rupa Goswami and which is not again in the Shrimad Bhagavatam or which is against Shrimad Bhagavatam. That we are all clear. So whatever Prabhupada may be saying, we have to understand it that it aligns with these two things. One is Srimad Bhagavatam, second is Rupa Goswami. Okay, we should not have any understanding which is not aligning with this. This is a principle of whatever we are going to see ahead. Okay. Now, what is the difference between Varnashma system and Varnashma duties? Also, I will clear. Varnashma system, all of us know. What is that? Varna and Ashrama. Varna are the material designations. Ashrama is the spiritual designation. This all of us know. What are the Varnas? We know there are four Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. These are four Varnas which are there in the society. And there are four ashramas: Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, Sannyasa ashram. Spiritual segregation, material segregation. That is both there. This is called Varnashma system. Do devotees follow this? Yes, devotees follow this Varnashma system. Okay. There are Grihastha, there are Brahmacharis, Ashrama is followed, right? And Varna also, it's followed that, okay, he is a Brahmana class of devotee. We will not be doing it strictly, but it's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Patan, Yajan, Dan, Pratigraha, and there are devotees who may be in management, there are devotees who may be doing business, all those things are there. So Urmila Mataji has a very elaborate presentation on that. Those who are interested can read her book, Career Dharma. Okay. Now there is another term which is called Varnashma duties. Okay. Should the devotees be doing this Varnashma duties? No. What are the Varnashma duties? Based on their Varna and Ashramas. Okay. What are the duties like? Basically, it is based on karma and jnana. So jnana yoga is not under the Varnashma duty. They are not supposed to follow Varnashma duties. Why? Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that those who have got the heart purified by Karma Yoga, they need not follow the Karma Yoga system. They are above it now. So they need not follow any rules and regulations. Where does it mention? Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Okay. It will be said, na tasya karyam, sorry, what is that? Yastu atmarati eva syat. Okay, that shloka. Okay, I will show you that shloka. One who has got this Atmarati, they will not need to do any karma. Okay. Let me search it. Okay. So here, second chapter. Okay. Okay, I'm not getting it. It is in second chapter. Okay, anyway. So yeah, so Varnashma's duties is that one has to follow the karma kanda activities, basically Sandhya Vandanam and then Panchagya, all those things which are there mentioned for the karma yogis. That is mentioned that should the devotees be doing, that need not be done by devotees. Okay, what the devotees should be doing? They should be doing as we discussed, the 5 limbs of bhakti or 20 limbs of bhakti, which will be discussed, 20 angas of bhakti, 5 angas of bhakti, which are there at the end, or Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. In other words, we say that. Okay, they should be doing this. So if this is clear, that Varnashma system is the external setup of Varna and Ashrama that devotees very much follow. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur very much instituted it. But did Bhakti Saraswati Thakur also tell the devotees to follow all the rules and regulations mentioned for the Karma Yogi in the Varnashma system? Like for Grihastha Ashram, it is mentioned they should be doing Panchayagya every day. So are the devotees, as we devotees, should we be doing it? That says no. Okay, it's not required. What we should be doing? We should be doing just the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, all that. Okay. Now, so for this, when Prabhupada says 50% of his mission is still remaining, that is establishing Varnashram system. Okay, so it should not be against the teachings of Bhagavatam and Rupa Goswami. So how do we understand it? We have to understand aligning them. So first thing, establishing Varnashram institution as a stepping stone for the outsiders. Establishing Varnashram for whom? Outsiders. To take up to Shuddha Bhakti. And who are the people who are establishing? These establishers are Bhakti yogis, we devotees. Okay. These are the devotees who are going to establish. So what is this activity called? This activity is called preaching. Establishing Varnashma system for the outsiders to take up to Shuddha Bhakti. And this activity is called preaching. This I am not saying. Now Prabhupada is going to say to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Okay. So, okay, somebody can read. Arun, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Morning walk, February 9, 1976, Mayapur. Prabhupada. No, ISKCON is not going to be social reformer, but as far as possible, we can help. Our main business is how to make everyone Krishna conscious. That is our business. We cannot take up, but if possible, we can take up all the system of Varnashram.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is very clearly saying, okay, no, ISKCON is not going to be a social reformer. Okay, we can do as far as possible. Okay, here also he said, if possible, we can take up all the system of Varnashrama. For what purpose? To make everyone Krishna conscious. Who are these everyone? The people who are not Krishna conscious. Those who are already Krishna conscious, Prabhupada will not say for them, right? Now, yeah, continue. Tamal Krishna Maharaj.
Tamal Krishna Maharaj. If Varnashram is neglected, then how can there be proper functioning of society?
Yeah, valid question. Yeah.
Prabhupada, no. If the society chants Hare Krishna seriously, then it is alright. Never mind whatever is done, it doesn't matter. Papi tapi jate chilo Hari name udharilo. This is the power of Hari Sankirtan. If one is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, so all benefit is there. So long in the bodily concept of life, we require this one ashram dharma. Otherwise, there is no necessity. Yes.
Yeah, Tamal Krishna Maharaj is saying yes. So Prabhupada is saying what? No, if the society chants Hare Krishna seriously, then it is all right. Now we may think, oh, we are not chanting seriously. So we should chant seriously enough, then only this will apply to us, right? So Prabhupada will clear that also. Okay, what he is meaning,
Chaitanya,
which stage of devotee, yeah.
Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have read in the 8th chapter, Madhya Lila, talk between Ramanandra and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, perfectional life, how begins? This question was raised by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanand replied, it begins with the Varnashram Dharma, regulated social life. Maharaj, he rejected that. Prabhupada, not rejected. Yes, it is very important. Eho
No,
bhaya.
it is not very important.
It is not very important. Eho bhaya. This is external. Aage kaha ara. If you know something more. So the Varnashram Dharma is a good help, undoubtedly, but it is not important for Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, how could I start this movement in the Western country?
Yeah, so what is Prabhupada saying here? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he quotes. So as we discussed earlier, any Acharya, he will quote the previous Acharya, he will quote Shastra to validate something. He will not tell something on his own. So he's quoting from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, you see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. It is not rejected, it is external. It is not very important. Okay. And then Prabhupada is concluding, yes, the Varnashram system is a good help, undoubtedly, but it is not important for Krishna consciousness. Okay. Not that Prabhupada is saying to give up the system of Varna and Ashrama. What he is meaning to say, he will tell now. So basically, I'm coming to this point. Otherwise, how could I start this movement? So when Prabhupada is saying that one should chant seriously, what it means? Yeah, please read.
There was no Varnashram Dharma, but that did not hamper my movement. Now people are surprised how these people have become such great devotees. So it was not based on Varnashram Dharma. No, because the whole movement is spiritual. It starts from the spiritual platform. Aham Brahmasmi. Jivara Sarup Hoy Nitya Krishna Das.
Yeah, so he is saying starting only, he is saying is the point where the system is not based on Varnashma Dharma. It is fully spiritual. Starts from a spiritual platform. Okay. So then it is not required. Yeah, continue.
Samsa Shuddhi.
Samashrita ye padapallava
पल्लव
plavam
प्लवम
mahat.
महत् पदम पुण्य यशो मुरारे भवाम बुधिर वत्स पदम परम. Now, just like here is a gap, so you can go by the bridge, and if you can jump over, that is also going. That is also going. So to become Krishna conscious means to jump over the spiritual platform immediately.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is showing that okay, there is a gap here. So either you can make a bridge or you can jump. So Krishna consciousness means to jump. Or he gave other types, he gave the example of elevator and staircase. So Krishna consciousness is like elevator. Yeah.
And this Varnashram Dharma, Sannyas, Varna, Tyag, Karma Tyag, these are different steps only. But if you become Krishna conscious seriously, then you jump over all these steps. You go immediately. That, lift, and the staircase. By staircase, you go step by step. By lift, you can go immediately, faster.
Yeah, so this was the first understanding that yes, that Varnashma is there. It should be accepted by devotees in order to do what? To bring the outsiders come to Krishna consciousness to show them yes, the setup is like this Varna and Ashrama. Devotees are not becoming a Varnashami. Please understand this very carefully. Devotees are not trying to give up their devotional duties of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. They will continue it. But what Prabhupada is saying is externally you may follow it, but internally remain a bhakti yogi and try to do preaching in this way and bring the outsiders into the movement. Okay, that is first understanding, which is in line with Srimad Bhagavatam and what Rupa Goswami told. Okay, second understanding is coming from the Prabhupada's purport in seventh canto, where this chapter itself is described. That seventh canto, 14th chapter. Okay, what is the concept there? Prabhupada explained accepting the Varnashma occupations in the mood of Anukulyasya Sankalpo and Pratukulasya Varjanam as a viable alternative for the modern Ugra Karma lifestyle. So Prabhupada is saying that as devotees, we don't have to work 12 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours. Many purports Prabhupada has told as devotee we should work maximum 8 hours. Okay. And they should be looking for alternatives which are more toward the Vedic system, which are not like Ugra Karma. Okay, that is Prabhupada's 7.14.10 purport explanation. Okay, yes, Prabhu, please continue.
These are the different occupational duties by which men should earn their livelihood. And in this way, human society should be simple. At the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma, extremely severe endeavor. This Ugra Karma is the cause of agitation within the human mind. Men are engaging in many sinful activities and becoming degraded by opening slaughterhouses, breweries, and cigarette factories, as well as nightclubs and other establishments for sense enjoyment. In this way, they are spoiling their lives. In all of these activities, of course, householders are involved, and therefore it is advised here with the use of the word api that even though one is a householder, one should not engage himself in severe hardships. One's means of livelihood should be extremely simple. As for those who are not grihasthas, the brahmacharis, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis, they don't have to do anything but strive for advancement in spiritual life. This means that three-fourths of the entire population should stop sense gratification and simply be engaged in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Only one-fourth of the population should be grihastha, and that should be according to laws of restricted sense gratification. The grihasthas, vanaprastha, brahmacharis, and sannyasis should endeavor together with their total energy to become Krishna conscious. This type of civilization is called Deva Varnashram.
Yeah, so now Prabhupada is bringing this point that yeah, devotees don't have to do hard struggle, but to those kind of earning avenues where it is more Vedic and it's not Ugra Karma. Okay, like that.
One of the objectives of the Krishna consciousness movement is to establish this Deva Varnashram, but not to encourage so-called Varnashram without scientifically organized endeavor by human society.
So he's clearly again saying that whole concept is about this Deva Varnashram system, not the original Varnashram system, which generally people may think. He's saying that it's about the occupation, that they should not do it Ugra Karma way. That is second understanding that what Prabhupada meant by saying that 50% of his Varnashma thing is remaining. And the last one, third understanding is why should the Krishna consciousness movement be restricted only to those who are Anyavilashata Shunyam? Why? It is said here. See, generally in ISKCON, we consider two types of people are there. One who don't have material desires and they don't worship demigods. We consider them as ISKCON people. Okay, don't have material desire means I have understood that yes, I have to give up the desires which are of bhukti and mukti. They have understood we accept them as inside members. Okay, and they openly don't say that yes, I want to enjoy this swarga or I want to enjoy this car. They have accepted that these are anarthas and we will give it up in due course of time. And there are second type people who clearly say that no, I want to enjoy the material world. I can give some donation to you. We call them as donors. Okay, there are devotees and there are donors. This third understanding says that why to make the donors feel homeless from ISKCON. Because what did Prabhupada say about ISKCON? Okay, ISKCON is what? Under whose umbrella the whole world can come. Okay, this is home for everyone. Correct. So why they should feel homeless? So Prabhupada is trying to encourage them also to come into the ISKCON umbrella. And then that is his third understanding. Yeah.
कामा सर्वकामो वा मोक्षकामा उदारधि तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन यजेत पुरुषं परम. The person desiring destruction of all desires, kama, the person with all desires, sarva kamova, and even the person with an intense desire for liberation, moksha kama, if he has good intelligence, udaradhi, will worship the Supreme Lord, yajeta purusham param, with pure bhakti, tivrena bhakti yogena.
Yeah. So here person desiring destruction of all desires, these are the devotees. Person with all desires are the people whom we said as donors. They have all kind of material desires. They want to give some donation to ISKCON. Prabhupada is going to speak about these kind of people in this purport, that these people also should be feeling connected to ISKCON and they should feel that we are inside ISKCON. Okay. Yes, please read.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is described in Bhagavad Gita as Purushottam or the Supreme Personality. It is He only who can award liberation to the impersonalist by absorbing such aspirants in the Brahma Jyoti, the bodily rays of the Lord. The Brahma Jyoti is not separate from the Lord, as the glowing sun ray is not independent of the sun rays. Therefore, one who desires to merge into the supreme impersonal Brahma Jyoti must also worship the Lord by Bhakti Yoga, as recommended here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti Yoga is specially stressed here as the means of all
Okay,
perfection.
we'll go to the next slide where, yeah, please read from here.
Everyone must therefore seriously take up the methods of Bhakti Yoga, even though one aspires for material enjoyment or liberation from material bondage.
Yeah, so when Prabhupada is mentioning about expanding Varnashrama to the whole world, what he is meaning is everyone, who is this everyone? Who are not yet devotees. They should take up the methods of Bhakti Yoga, right? So this is for outside people, even though they may have material enjoyment tendencies or tendencies to become liberated. Prabhupada is saying they can also come into the umbrella of ISKCON and they can be considered as the devotees in the sense that they are feeling homely and they are considered as the part of ISKCON society itself, like that. So these are the three understandings which we can have. There can be more, but these are the three understandings which we can have in line with Srimad Bhagavatam's presentation, which says that for devotees, Varnashrama duties are not required. They may be in the system of Varna and Ashrama, but they need not do the duties. They should just do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. That also is teaching of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami mentions two times in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. One is here, and at the end of the 64 Angas, again he will tell that Varnashrama is not the limb of Bhakti. Okay, Jnana, Varnashrama, cleanliness, these all things will, he will say cleanliness will come automatically. It's not separately considered as a limb of Bhakti. And then he says Jnana and Varnashrama are not at all the limb of Bhakti. Like that it will be told. Okay, any questions on what we discussed in this topic? Okay, so any understanding which may not be going in line with Srimad Bhagavatam and Rup Goswami's presentation. Okay, because there can be many presentations based on what Prabhupada actually meant by this 50%, and there are like many devotees who are presenting on this topic. And if it is not in line with Srimad Bhagavatam principles and Srila Prabhupada and Rup Goswami's principles, then we have to see from where they are presenting and based on what. Okay, so that's what. Okay, so now we will go to the next chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is the chapter 6, where the 64 Angas of Bhakti is going to be discussed. So, continuing the second wave itself, topic 11 we have discussed. Now, topic 12. Okay, this is NOD chapter 6. The top title is The Purity of Devotional Service. Okay, Rup Goswami mentions this title as Angas of Devotional Service. Okay, Angas means what? He will explain now. We'll read. Hari Bhakti Vilasesya Bhaktir Angani Lakshashah Kintu Tani Prasiddhani Nirdishyante Yathamati. Okay, Premalatika Mataji, please reading.
In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, innumerable angas of bhakti are mentioned. Bhakter Angani Lakshashaha. Among those, the most famous one, Kintu Tani Prasiddhani, will be explained Nirdeshyante to the best of my judgment, Yathamati.
Yeah, so he is saying already his elder brother Sanatan Goswami has mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas innumerable. Basically, here the word used was lakshasha, lakhs. Lakhs of angas are already mentioned. Okay, so I will be mentioning only few as per my judgment, like that. Okay, so the list of angas first Rupa Goswami gives. So first 20 angas he will give. These are the door to devotional service. Like to come inside any temple or any home, there is a door, right? So we don't go inside through the window or don't go from the ventilator and all. Door is there, proper door. So going into the home or temple wherever, the doors are there. Like the bhakti also coming or entering into the path of bhakti, these are the 20 which are the door, which are don'ts and do's. Okay, some doors we have to keep closed, some doors we have to keep open. Okay, some doors we should never enter from, some doors we have to only enter from. So like that, first 10 are the do's, first and then last next 10 are don'ts. Okay, so list is here. I will just read. Guru Padashraya first, taking shelter of a Guru. Krishna Dikshadi Sikshanam, taking Diksha and Siksha, acquiring knowledge from him. Vishrambhena Guruho Seva, service to the Guru with respect. Sadhu Vartama Anuvartanam, following the rules of the scriptures as approved by Acharyas. Fifth, Sat Dharma Priksha, inquiry about the real duties of life. Sixth, Bhogadi Tyaga Krishnasya Hetave, renunciation of enjoyment to gain Krishna's mercy. Okay, these are the do's, what we have to do. Seventh, Nivaso Dwarka Adav va Gangader api Sannidhav, residing in Dwarka or other holy places or near the Ganga. Eighth, Vyavahareshu Sarveshu Yavad Artha Anuvartita, accepting only what is necessary in dealing with the body. Ninth, Hari Vasara Sammano, observing the Ekadashi Vrata and other auspicious days like Janmashtami, Nityananda Tirdashi, Gaur Purnima, like that. 10th, Dhatri Ashwathadi Gauravam, giving respect to the holy trees like Amalaki, Ashwatha, people, and other. Tulsi. Okay. And now he is saying, Esham atra das anganam bhavet prarambha rupata. Preliminary bhakti should consist of these 10 angas. Okay. The primary bhakti, initial bhakti should be containing of these 10. Now the next 10 are don'ts, what one should not do. 11th is that Sanga Tyago Vidurena Bhagavad Vimukher Janeh, giving up the association of those opposed to the Lord. 12th, Sishyadi Ana Anubandhitvam, not being attached to making disciples. Maha Arambhadi Anudyamaha, not being enthusiastic for huge undertakings. So these are the huge material undertakings, not the spiritual. Like Hirup Goswami himself built a very big Radha Govinda temple. So it's not about his spiritual endeavors. It's about like chanting 64 rounds or more rounds. So they are good undertakings. This is about material undertakings. 14th, Bahugrantha Kalabhyasa Vyakhya Vada Vivarjanam. Avoiding the study of useless books in order to earn a living or defeat others in useless arguments. Okay. Yeah. So avoiding the study of useless books. Okay, which may not be related to the bhakti. Vyavhare api akarpanyam. Not feeling miserable in any material circumstances. 16th, Shokadi Avashavartita. Not being subject to lamentation or other extreme emotions. Anya Devan Avagya. Not showing disrespect to devatas. Okay. Yeah, just because we are devotees of Lord Krishna doesn't mean that we will disrespect every other demigod. Okay. Because they are also people appointed by Lord Krishna himself. Bhuta Anudvega Daita. Not giving disturbance to other living beings. Seva Nam Aparadhanam Udbhava Abhava Karita. Not committing of Seva Aparad or Nam Aparad. And the last 20 is Krishna Tadbhakta Vidvesha Vinindadi Asahishnuta, not tolerating the criticism of Krishna and his devotees by those who hate them. Okay. So there are haters of the bhakti movement. We should keep distance from them. Okay. So these were the 20. So he is saying now Vyatireka Atyasmin Atyamisham Dashanam Shad Anushtitihi. These 10 angas should be observed. Amisham Dashanam Anushtiti Syad by avoidance, by Vyatireka. Vyatireka means to avoid. So one should observe this by avoiding, and previously it was told one should do it by following them. Okay. So yeah, now somebody can read. Yes, Madhav, Kishore Madhav Prabhu.
Door to devotional service, the first 20 angas, the don'ts. These 20 angas serve as the door for entering bhakti. The first three angas, taking shelter of the feet of Guru, receiving teachings after initiation, and serving the Guru with respect are said to be the principal ones.
Yeah, so few of them, the first three are like the principal ones. Okay, that has to be done in any case. Yeah, now 20 we have seen, the last 44 that will make it 64. List is given and explanation we will see in the next session. Now we'll just go through what are the 64. 20 we have discussed, 44 more. Yeah.
List of other 44 angas. 1. Marking the body with Vaishnava symbols. 2. Marking the body with syllabus of Lord's name. The 3. Wearing the garlands, flowers, and sandalwood offered to the deity. 4. Dancing before the deity, offering respects on the ground. 6. Rising up to see the Lord, following behind the Lord's procession, going to the Lord's residence, circumambulating the Lord or his dhama, performing archana, performing menial service to the deity, singing for the deity, singing in a group, performing japa, offering words or sentiments, reciting prayers, tasting food offered to the Lord, tasting the food water of the Lord, smelling the incense and flowers offered to the Lord, touching the deity, seeing the deity, seeing the artrika and festivals, hearing the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord, accepting the mercy of the Lord, remembrance of the Lord, meditating on the Lord, acting as a servant of the Lord, thinking of the Lord as a friend, offering oneself to the Lord, offering the best items to the Lord, making full efforts for the Lord, surrendering to the Lord, serving Tulsi, studying the scriptures, living in Mathura, serving the devotees, holding festivals according to one's mean with the devotee, observing Kartika Vrata, observing Janmashtami and other special occasions, having faith with great affection for serving the deity, relishing Bhagavatam in association of devotees, associating with like-minded affectionate superior devotees, Nama Sankirtana, and last, living in the area of Mathura.
Yeah, okay. So the last five will be specifically told and glorified. So one shloka is dedicated for that. I will read. दुरूहाद्भुतवीर्येऽस्मिन् श्रद्धा दूरे अस्तु पञ्चके यत्र स्वल्पोऽपि सम्बन्धः सद्धियां भावजन्मने. Yeah, please read the translation.
The last five items have inconceivable and astonishing power. What to speak of having faith in these items? If there is just a little relationship with these items, persons who are devoid of offenses can attain the level of bhava.
Yeah,
Bhakti
so a very, very important shloka. The last five items are so powerful that one can immediately attain the stage of bhava, given that they are not having any offenses. Previous offenses are not there. Just like we say, na, chanting the holy name, one can immediately go attain ecstasy. When will that happen? That will happen only if there are no offenses. So the same thing here, it said that persons who are devoid of offenses by any of these five limbs, it's not about chanting the holy name only. Any of these last five limbs, Nam Sankirtan, Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavad Shravan, Mathuravas, Shri Murtaya, Shraddhaya Sevan, any of these five little bit contact also one can go to the stage of bhav immediately, or one can experience ecstasy. Okay, so now one by one each of them will be described. That I think we will take in the next session. Okay, any questions on what we discussed till now? Okay, so then we will stop here. Yes, Arun Prabhu. You are on mute, I
Yes,
think.
one word you used about like there are two people. One is internal devotee and another is
A donor, kind of.
donor. Do like is donor and well-wisher same in this case? Donor and well-wisher.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, Prajit, that is what I wanted to ask. And today I was reading Dhruv Maharaj section. There he says, like there Prabhupada writes the same thing that you were discussing, that you were telling, that Narad Muni says to him that if you do devotional service to Krishna, then everything will be done. You can achieve anything. So to achieve anything, we should only do devotional service.
Hmm.
But like in preaching, if we say something like this, then person may not have faith.
Hmm.
In the case of Dhruv Maharaj, he could he took that instruction and performed for his in his life and achieved. So how should we see this when we preach or when we tell this thing? Whether we should go for varnashram or go like tell them that thing first, or we should talk about devotion service only.
Yeah. So as we discussed last time also, it is a maturity of the preacher to understand what that person is looking for and give him that. So somebody is say maybe interested in music. So we should try to give them, see, the most important principle in bhakti is to give them good impressions, favorable impressions of bhakti, of Krishna consciousness. He may take up whenever his Sukriti quota is filled, he it will get converted to Shraddha, he will take up. Okay, by no arguments and all, he will take up. It is only good experiences has to be accumulated in him. Now, if he is attracted to music, then we can give him some things which are related to the music in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so like recently, I was seeing a video where devotees had gone to the house of A.R. Rahman and they were doing some musical concert. And some devotees had gone to, I don't know, some place where Sonu Nigam is there. So they are doing kirtan at his place. So those people who are connected to musical background, we can connect them through the music. Somebody may be a scientist. So Prabhupada approached them with that mindset, you see. So philosophers and professors, scientists, he went into that mood. He did not tell them just chant Hare Krishna. No, he defeated them with all the science and all. Okay. So we have to understand what is the material liking of that person, then spiritualize it. That is the preaching, concept of preaching. Whatever is material liking is there because he doesn't have any spiritual liking. He may have some material liking. We should find out what is that liking, can be dovetailed in Krishna consciousness, try to bring him to spiritual things. in that liking, then it will become favorable for him and he can accept it quickly. Okay, so as far as here you are asking about varnashma and all these things which is there, so Prabhupada is giving principle for us to understand that how we should bring the persons from outside. So three understandings we had. One was that we ourselves show them a very stable setup of Varna and Ashrama and tell them, see, this is a very stable setup. You also come and take up. They can come. Second was that, okay, devotees themselves don't do Ugra Karma. They do some Vedic kind of lifestyle job. And third was that even those who are donors, we should be able to embrace them as devotees. Devotees in the sense that we should not give them the feeling that you are outsider. Okay, these are the three concepts. And preaching, as far as it's there, we should do follow this principle. Whatever is their material inclination, connect it to a spiritual thing. Is it
Okay,
okay?
so yes, so I understood the concept. Let's say if a boy comes and he likes music and he starts playing guitar in a temple hall kirtan. So now people or the seniors at managerial level, or I have heard that Malva's rock band is like supported by some senior devotees, but it is also criticized at GBC level also.
Hmm.
So, and but people who are coming in Krishna consciousness, or when they hear on YouTube Madhva's rock band, they get some good feeling about ISKCON also.
Hmm.
So how should we see this? And
Yeah,
because
see,
in
very
Maharaj,
simple.
yes, well,
I understood the question. Okay, so
yes, well.
what is the thing now? We have to understand for whom it is. The criticism is also good. The appreciation is also good. In what manner they are doing that, I think we have to understand. If some devotee goes and starts thinking that that will nourish my bhakti, that has to be criticized. If a non-devotee is thinking that yes, this is very good, and he is taking up devotional service, that has to be appreciated. The same guitar is there. Okay. The same, recently, although I, okay, need not give any example, but I'm saying that Rock Band, already you told the name. So whatever that personalities they may be doing, that should be appreciated if it is taken up by those who are coming into Krishna consciousness. That is for them. But devotees should have their understanding that it is not for me, it's not for 16 rounder people. It's not no more entertainment for them. If they are thinking that my bhakti will be nourished by hearing to this this kind of stuff, they have to hear more what Prabhupada is singing, what their Guru Maharaj is singing. That has to nourish their bhakti now, and that has to be criticized. That rock band need not be criticized. Okay. If this concept is clear, then the thing will be clear. This is not my concept. This I heard from Radha Gopinath Prabhu. He told this principle that if somebody is giving a lecture which is not pertaining to devotees, he may be giving a lecture which is like a bridge preaching. He's not talking directly about God. But if devotees start hearing those lectures and think that that will nourish my bhakti, that devotee has to be criticized, not the speaker. And he is speaking for which audience? That audience hears, that has to be appreciated. This is the principle.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Kishore Madhav Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. Prabhu, referring
One more
to
thing, yes, one more thing. Yeah, Arun Prabhu's question, one more thing is that now when we say this devotional principles and books of Krishna consciousness, now just giving example, like we may think many times Bhagavatam is for whom? For devotees, we think. Obviously, it is for devotees. It is for all kinds of devotees. Paramhamsa Samhita also it is called because the Paramhamsa, the highest ever devotee, relish it. We don't relish. It's medicine for us because we are jaundice condition and it's medicine for us. But there are for whom the Bhagavatam was written. So three examples I will tell. It shows that Bhagavatam was mainly written for the conditioned souls, those who are not yet devotees. Okay. So first is Sukdev Goswami. For whom did he speak Shrimad Bhagavatam? Okay, I will show here. See, this is first canto, chapter number 3. Sorry, chapter number 2, I think. Yeah, shloka number 3. Yes, Swanubhavam Akhila Shruti Saramekam Adhyatma Deepam Atitirshatam Tamondham Samsarinam Karunaya Purana Guhyam Namo Vyasa Sunumupayami Guru Muninam. Yeah. So please read the translation of this. For whom is the Bhagavatam? Yeah.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Yazdev, who, out of his great compassion for those cross-materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest region of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge, after having personally assimilated it by experience.
Yeah. So see, for whom is the Bhagavatam spoken here? It's
The
spoken for
gross
the
materialist.
gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions. Surely we understand devotees, it is a medicine. Paramahamsas, it is a luxury. Okay, they enjoy it. But for who is the main audience here? Is a gross materialist. Sukdev Goswami is speaking this. Okay, not only Sukdev Goswami, he learned from his father, right? Vyasadeva. Whom did Vyasadeva create this Bhagavatam for? Kalau nashtadrisham esha Purana arka adhunodita. Those whose nashtadrisham, their eyesight have been lost. Okay. Krishna swadham upagate jnana dharma jnana adibhi sa. Krishna left and then nothing was there. So Vyasadeva is writing it for those who are misdirected. Okay, not even he is saying devotees. Then third example is Maitreya Muni is speaking this Shrimad Bhagavatam to Vidura in third canto. For whom is he speaking? He is also speaking for the same class of people who are not yet devotees. Okay. So, Nrinam 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 Mahadgatanam Viramaya Tasya. Yeah. Okay. Please read, bro. What is the translation?
Let me let me now begin speaking on the Bhagavad Puran, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead for the benefit of those who are entangled in extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure.
Yeah. So who is the audience of Shrimad Bhagavatam? Those who are entangled in extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure. So when we say that, as you said in the beginning, Dhruva Maharaj uh, was having some material desire. So actually, as devotee, we should understand that this Bhagavatam, it's not only for devotees or Paramahamsas. Very much it's relevant for the outsiders. Okay. So in preaching to them, we can tell them about Bhagavatam principles. Okay. In general, if they are more oriented towards philosophy, that is very good. But Bhagavatam we should consider as a direct method of preaching also. Okay. That I am not saying here. I showed you three quotations for whom it is. Okay. Yeah. Kishore Madhav.
Yeah, so yeah, finishing in fact, basically referring to Premlatika Mataji's reference that she observed some senior Vaishnavas not speaking good either, speaking against ISKCON or against Krishna, basically, correct? Something of that sort. But is it not a duty of our Vaishnavas or ISKCON follower that we should either take her, confront in a very polite way or something, try to understand, so that otherwise, if this is not taken care of, then the particular person will keep on polluting the environment.
Oh, yeah. There is also one shloka for this. What should be done? Okay, I will show that also. Somebody criticizing what one should do. Four things are mentioned. In that three things, I think two things we should not do. Two things we can do. Yad kalpa ishe dharma chindyat prasahya. Sitting Prabhu's chair. Yes. This is fourth canto, fourth chapter. Yeah, please read, Prabhuji.
Sati continued, if one hears an irresponsible person blasphemy the master and controller of the religion, one should block his ears and go away if unable to punish him. But if one is able to kill, then one should be forced cut out the blasphemous tongue and kill the offender. And after that, one should give up his own life.
Yeah. So please kindly read the purport before implementing this. Okay. So I will tell in essence what Prabhupada is saying. If one hears an irresponsible person, and in the slides actually Jiva Goswami mentioned that, not Jiva Goswami, Prabhupada only, yeah, he told somebody who is uh, envious basically, who is not devotee for them, because then sometimes devotees may speak because of some agitation or because they don't like some topic, some reason may be there, but in heart they are not having any envy towards the book distribution or anything, but they may speak out of something. I don't know. So here it is said, if one hears an irresponsible person blaspheme the master and control of religion, one should first block his ears and go away. If he is unable to counteract him or punish him, okay, he should go away from that place. And if one is able to first try to counteract with him that okay, you are telling like this, but actually this is not the thing, this should be understood in this way. Prabhupada has given such and such instruction about book distribution, we should have faith in that, and we should endeavor for this, we should try to do. And if we are not able to do, then it is not advised to do like this. One should try to leave that place. Okay, if one is able to kill, then one should by force cut out the blasphemer's tongue and kill the offender, and after that one should give up his own life. So this part need not be done by devotees. Okay, so they can either leave the place or counteract that person. Okay, that one can be done. So this is the method to counteract any blasphemous, generally for outsiders. Okay, devotees may do out of some circumstances, but if they are repeatedly doing, then we can bring to the notice of some senior devotee, and if it is concerning us, then we can keep a respectful distance. Okay, Prabhuji.
Correct. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here today and continue next week. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai, Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.